All right, today we're taking a trip way out in our solar system to get to know a planet that's just, well, it's captivated people for centuries. We're talking about Saturn.
Ah, the one with the rings. It's just so beautiful. But what really makes it so special?
Well, that's what we're going to dive into. There's so much more to Saturn than just those famous rings. It is a world of incredible extremes, and we're about to pull back the curtain on some of its biggest secrets.
Just listen to this, it really sets the scene. Imagine a ring made of ice and rock so wide you could line up 20 Earths inside it. Imagine a world with winds that race faster than any storm on Earth. The planet is real. The planet is Saturn.
Wow, that almost sounds like science fiction, doesn't it? It's just hard to wrap your head around. So, how did we even get from seeing this tiny little light in the sky to knowing all these incredible details?
Well, it was a really long journey, a journey of discovery. And believe it or not, it all started with a pretty simple, pretty basic telescope.
Yeah, for the longest time, Saturn was just another star-like dot in the sky. But as our technology got better and better, so did our picture of this faraway world. You could say that every new tool gave us a clearer and honestly a more jaw-dropping view.
And this timeline just shows you how far we've come. I mean, it all kicked off with Galileo squinting through his telescope and seeing these weird ears on the side of the planet. He had no idea what they were. It took decades for someone else to figure out, hey, that's a ring. And this slow, step-by-step process eventually led to the Cassini spacecraft, which gave us this unbelievable, up-close look for 13 straight years.
That's just amazing, seeing how the picture got clearer and clearer. But, I have to ask, what is the planet itself actually like? I mean, what's going on underneath those famous rings?
That is the perfect question, so let's do it. Let's peel back those layers and explore the secrets of this gas giant. And honestly, the name gas giant gives you a pretty big clue about what we're dealing with here.
So, first things first, let's talk about size. Just sheer scale. Saturn is enormous. You could line up 9 Earths side by side just to get from one end of it to the other. It is a true giant.
9 Earths. That's almost impossible to picture. So what's a planet that massive even made of? Is it rock, like our planet?
You'd think so, but you'd be surprised. It's not really solid at all. Saturn is made almost entirely out of hydrogen and helium. The two lightest, simplest elements in the entire universe. But deep inside the planet, the pressure is so intense that those gases start to behave in really, really strange ways.
Okay, so it's made of the lightest gases there are. Does that mean the planet itself is kind of a lightweight for its size?
You've hit it on it exactly. And that gets us to one of the absolute weirdest things about Saturn, its density. In fact, it's so light that it kind of breaks our idea of what a planet should even be.
What do you mean by that?
It sounds completely nuts, but it's true. Saturn is the least dense planet in our whole solar system. In fact, its average density is actually less than water. So, if you could somehow build a bathtub big enough to hold it, Saturn would float.
A floating planet? You're kidding me. A world that's 9 times wider than Earth could actually float in water. It's just, what a strange and amazing universe this is.
Okay, so we've established we have a giant floating planet. I'm still trying to process that. But what about the part everyone knows? Those incredible rings. When you think of Saturn, that's what you see. What are they really?
Right, they look so solid from here, but they're not. They are a massive swarm of billions and billions of individual pieces of water ice with a little rock mixed in. And the pieces range in size from tiny little dust motes all the way up to the size of a house. And inside the rings, there are these little shepherd moons that act like cosmic sheepdogs, using their gravity to herd all those ice particles and keep the ring's edges nice and sharp.
And the scale of it all is it's breathtaking. The main rings are so incredibly wide, you could fit 20 Earths across them. And yet, in some spots, they're only as thin as a few dozen feet.
That is unbelievable. So how did they even get there? Have they just always been there?
That is the big question, and scientists are still debating it. One theory is that the rings are ancient, as old as Saturn itself, and they just formed from the leftover stuff from the early solar system. But another idea is that they're much younger. Maybe they're the wreckage of an icy moon that got too close and got shredded by Saturn's gravity.
So it's like a cosmic whodunit, and it looks like the clue is how clean the ice is. That's so cool.
Exactly. But Saturn isn't just a planet and its rings. It's really like a whole mini solar system. It has over 80 moons that we know of, and each one is its own unique little world. And out of all of them,
there are two that are just especially fascinating. So on one hand, you've got Titan. It's bigger than the planet Mercury. It has this thick, hazy atmosphere, and it actually has rivers and lakes of liquid methane on its surface. And then you have Enceladus. It's this tiny, bright white, icy moon, but it's hiding this enormous secret beneath its surface, a huge ocean of liquid salt water.
Whoa, hang on. A hidden ocean of liquid water on a tiny little frozen moon all the way out at Saturn? That's incredible. How in the world could we possibly know that?
It was an amazing piece of detective work, really. The Cassini spacecraft saw these giant geysers, these plumes of ice and water vapor just shooting out of cracks near the moon's south pole. And then, in this incredibly bold move, the mission controllers decided to fly the spacecraft right through those plumes to basically taste what they were made of.
It flew right through them? Seriously, what did it find?
It found salt and complex organic molecules. I mean, the very building blocks for life as we know it, just spraying out from this hidden ocean into space. It's astonishing. So, there's a salty ocean with the ingredients for life on a tiny moon of Saturn. That really is a game changer. I mean, from a planet that floats to a moon with a hidden ocean, Saturn is just packed with surprises. So why is it so important for us to study a place that's so incredibly far away?
Well, Saturn is like a time capsule. It helps us understand how our entire solar system got started. The rings are this perfect giant laboratory for studying how gravity works. But, maybe the biggest reason is that moons like Enceladus are completely changing the game for where we look for life. They show us that the potential for life might just be in a lot more places than we ever dreamed of.
It seems like the more we learn about Saturn, the more we realize just how much is left to discover. Every time we point a new instrument at it, we find something we just did not expect.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a tiny, icy moon can hide a whole ocean, what other incredible things are just waiting out there for us to find in the cosmos?
And that's the question, isn't it? That's the question that's going to keep us exploring for a long, long time to come.